Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first day of coaching through cancellation. My name's John Hogan, one of the assistant coaches here at the University of Richmond. Our hearts obviously go out to all those who've had their seasons canceled. Hope everyone's staying safe through this tough time. But honored to kick it off today with Coach Richards, who will be starting with some defensive drills, and I'll be talking about everybody's favorite, which is step down shooting. So let's get started. I'll walk through a variation of shots stepping down the field and shots stepping up the field to step down the field. Your footwork and form here are key no matter what variation or type of shooting we are doing. It all starts with your feet. These all can be done by yourself with as many or as few balls as possible. It would be recommended to have 3 to 4 cones or markers. This can be any type of item you have laying around, like gloves or cereal boxes, whatever you have, it'll work. I'm a huge fan of getting the music going, so cue up your favorite playlist, get it ready to go. Who knows, maybe you're ready to call it quits, your favorite song comes on, and you stay out there for another 3 to 4 minutes. Lastly, we all play because we love it, so don't forget to enjoy yourself while you're out there. I love bouncing the ball to simulate catching a pass. A huge part of being able to shoot the ball is being able to get the ball in and out of your stick quickly. This allows less time for the goalie to react and less time for the defense to get into your hands. If you just start with the ball on your stick, you lose practicing this skill of receiving and releasing as efficiently as possible. So bounce the ball with enough force in which you can catch and release in stride. Don't bounce it soft enough where you have to reach down or too high where you have to stop and wait for it. Lastly, everyone has a different range. Shoot from a distance that's best for you. Focus on your form and footwork here rather than how deep your shot can be. We can all shoot it from different distances. Shoot from your distance. You'll see here some workouts will pop up as I talk here. These are always here for you to come back to. You're welcome to screenshot them. I'm a big believer in repetition of shooting at the same spot over and over again to get that muscle memory. So these are broken down into sets of 10 shots. And you would shoot, for example, 10 low, far side, and you do that 3 times, and then you'd move on to shooting 10 shots far side off the hip. And then you do that 3 times, and then you go 10 shots high. So you're trying to hit that same spot in the goal 10 times max effort each time, and then reset and do it again. First drill here, it's just a basic step down shot. Your stick should be to the outside. As you can see, I'm bouncing the ball in front of me so that I can step to it at an angle. I'd recommend stepping down the field at an angle as if you're breaking to an opening on the field, shielding yourself from the defense. Then as you're receiving the ball, redirect your momentum and feet back towards the goal. My front foot should be pointed towards my target, which is the goal. My chin should be touching my front shoulder or looking over my front shoulder so that I can see the goal, and my hand should be back away from my body. As I release the ball, my back foot should swing through, forcing my momentum towards the goal. Circle back up the pile of balls and repeat. Each rep should be max effort. This next drill is very similar to the previous one, but now you'll have your stick to the inside. This can simulate receiving a pass from across the top or wanting to use your strong hand on a feed from behind. What's extremely important here are your feet and your hips. As you're receiving this pass, you'll need to swing your hips around so that you're facing the middle of the field. You need to do this before the ball is in your stick. You may need to take a bit of a wider route to do this. You can see as the ball is bouncing off the turf, I'm ultimately taking more of an arch approach and hopping to swing my hips around so that I can get my momentum and footwork towards the goal as efficiently as possible. The next drill allows you to practice shooting with both hands pretty efficiently. As you can see, I have 2 piles of balls on each side of the field. You can just scatter them if you'd like across the top. And I'm alternating sides, practicing stepping down the field with my stick to the outside. This can also be done with your stick to the inside. It's just the next progression of the 2 previous drills, allowing you to work on both sides of the field in a pretty efficient manner. Continuing with the step down, this drill is a variation of the step down. Now that you've mastered the basic step down with the previous drills, defenders are now flying out of you trying to stop that shot. You can simulate, and take advantage of the poor approach by the defense with this drill right here. Here we'll hitch to the middle of the field. Again, you are simulating receiving the ball off the pass, but let's say a defender over pursues you, exposes the top side or the middle of the field, and as you're stepping down, you make him think you're going to shoot the ball. We do this with our body and our feet, not our sticks. As you can see, I step towards the low pylon hard, dipping my shoulder, keeping my stick relatively still, and back behind my body. I then explode up the field towards the middle of the field, stepping by the poor approach by the defender. As I explode, I keep my momentum under control, gather my feet, step down for a hands-free shot. Now we move on to stepping up the field to step down for a shot. So the key here is to get your footwork and momentum going back towards the goal, even though your initial movement is away from the goal. I bounce the ball to emulate receiving a pass from someone higher than me on the field to someone closer to the midfield line than I am, and I step up the field as this is where the opening is. If I stay still or I step towards the goal line initially, I may back into the defense and crowd myself. So I step up the field towards my teammate initially to create space. Then, as I receive the pass, I step around the top pylon and back down the field so that my foot is pointed towards my target, the goal, and my momentum follows through the same direction. My foot should not be pointed towards the midline or the sideline, but it should be pointed towards the goal. So make sure you hustle up the field to catch the ball and work back down the field for a step down shot. The next drill is a little bit more difficult than the previous one, as you're now stepping up the field and away from the goal on your initial movement. The same concepts should apply. So it looks like you're closer, but if you do this one poorly, it's going to be a much tougher shot just because of the angle, and if your momentum is going away from the cage, it's going to take a lot off your shot. So this is mimicking popping the space, starting a low cone, popping an angle up the field and towards the sideline. Then as you're receiving the ball, step towards the middle of the field and back towards the goal to let that shot go. Next, we build off the previous drill to take advantage of a defender over pursuing us, just as we did with the hitch earlier. So all the same movements as the previous drill, just instead of shooting it initially, we will face dodge underneath our defender and to the front of the goal. We want to sell it with our footwork. And then as we plant, like we are shooting, we bring our stick right in front of our face with our inside shoulder following to protect our stick. We want to keep our stick between our shoulders in the center of our chest to protect it from our defender. Keep our feet moving, take a great angle to the front of the goal, and do not finish the ball as you're running behind the goal, but finish the ball as you're running across the top of the crease. This next drill is a similar theme to the previous one, taking advantage of a defender's over pursuit towards the top side. So now we'll just roll off the poor approach instead of face dodging by it. This is a little bit higher on the field to allow us more time, more space for a good angled shot off of the roll. As you can see, I step into it as if I'm still going to shoot it, sailing it with my footwork. I then pivot off of my lead foot and drop step with my trail foot to turn and shield my stick from my defender, keeping it between my shoulders. My momentum propels me forward towards the goal, not towards the sidelines. I keep my head up, stick protected, and get a much closer shot than originally thought because of my efficient footwork and stick protection. This last drill here, it's just a fun thing. If you guys have a barrier or an extra goal on a field you're on or in the backyard or anything like that, put that second goal in front of the first one to only allow a little bit of the cage to be open. Just a fun thing to try and challenge yourself. Do 10 shots, see how many you can put in the goal in 10 shots. It's a pretty fun competition that you can just do with yourself. That's all I have for you guys. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. Get the music going, put the headphones in, and enjoy the game that we all love.